Welcome to Reading RS. We like reading interesting Reddit stories out loud for your entertainment. Please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe.
In 2014, Timothy Jones Jr. murdered his 6-year-old son Nathan by exercising him to death as a form of punishment. He then methodically killed the rest of his 4 children, aged 1 to 8 years old. Tim and Amber. This case takes place in 2014 in South Carolina. Timothy Jones Jr. had 5 children with his wife, 𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗲. They met when Jones was 22 and 𝗃𝗲 was still a teenager, working at a children's entertainment park similar to 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃 𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗃, depending on where you live. Tim was raised as a Pentecostal Christian. The church expected him to marry quickly, so he and Amber were wed within weeks of meeting. Amber figured out quickly that marrying Tim was not at all what she had imagined. He was extremely strict, per the doctrines of his church as well as his own bizarre set of beliefs about gender roles. Women could not wear makeup or jewelry, cut their hair, or even wear pants. The old thought style of women belong at home to serve their husbands, cook meals, and have babies was Tim's mantra. This would have been about 2004. Now married for a few years, Tim graduated summa cum laude from Mississippi State University and landed a lucrative job with Intel, and they started a family. Rather than buy or rent a home or apartment for them, Tim decided to purchase a rundown trailer at the edge of town. He wanted to homestead, or rather, since he was working at Intel, I think it's safe to say that he wanted Amber to homestead and purchase dozens of animals. He also expected her to homeschool all the children, but as she had never obtained a high school degree, she felt that attempting to teach them herself would be failing them. Amber did not know how to drive, did not have a license, and did not have access to a vehicle, so she essentially had no choice but to take care of it all. With no friends or family nearby, Amber was extremely isolated and lonely. She eventually had an affair with a neighbor, which led to the dissolution of the marriage around 2012. Jones presented himself to the divorce attorney and a court-mandated therapist as a loving, caring husband who had been betrayed. He asked for an affidavit stating that he could raise the children alone. 𝗃𝗃𝗃 could not even afford an attorney and was granted visitation. During this time, Tim started drinking and doing drugs, escalated even further with his delusions and abuse, and continued to get angrier and angrier. Amber reported that he once head-butted her unconscious in front of the children before she moved out. He was losing his grip on reality completely, but somehow remained astute enough to keep up his public image as a good man and father, according to a couple of babysitters he'd employed. The children were, from oldest to youngest, Mara, 8, Eli, 7, Nathan, 6, Gabriel, 2, and Elaine, 1. After their mother Amber was forced to move out, Tim blocked her from them in every way he could, including threatening to harm the children if he tried to see them. Typically, the trailer was very tidy and neat, but it started to become noticeably dirty, with roaches moving in and clothes and trash scattered everywhere. He began to beat the children more regularly as punishment and began to feed them less. The night of the murders. According to Jones' own testimony, this is what happened the night of August 28, 2014. His 6-year-old son Nathan had somehow broken an electrical outlet in the home while being out of Tim's sight. This sent Tim into a rage, and he forced Nathan to do what he called PT, a military term meaning physical training. This meant that Nathan had to endure hours and hours of strenuous physical exercise without being given a rest or water. Jones claimed that he found his son dead in his room later that night after sending him to bed. After finding Nathan dead, Tim did nothing for the next few hours, supposedly thinking about what he was going to do next. He settled on strangling each of his 4 remaining children one by one, placing them each into a separate garbage bag, and driving their bodies aimlessly around the state of Alabama for the next 9 days. Reports state that during these 9 days, he attempted to buy synthetic marijuana, conducted research on countries with no extradition laws, and looked up how to disintegrate bodies quickly. He ended up dumping them in a random rural area.
We did advise you of your rights. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright, can you just state your name?
Tim Jones,
Alright, what's your date of birth?
12/28/81.
Alright, and you agreed to talk to us.
Yeah, we was talking, but they forgot to push the record button. So
Okay.
this is part 2.
Alright, and when we went towards the end, we asked you if we threatened you
No,
in
you
any
guys
way.
didn't threaten me.
No one promised you anything? Could you just please say it out loud?
No, nobody promised me anything.
Oh, okay. We talked about what happened with your children.
Well, no, I take that back. You guys did promise me. You guys said let me go give them a burial and try to help you out.
So
That's what you guys promised.
Promised a good burial for your children. We talked about when you picked your children up Thursday, which would have been August 28th. You picked them up from school that day, and something happened that night. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you walk us through what happened?
I questioned the town about 4 outlets that he blew. After a series of not getting any favorable responses out of him, I tried to use more harsh measures to just try to get out of him what was going on because I didn't know what he was doing. I seen 4 destroyed outlets. Is it for me, him? Was he curious? I just didn't know what was going on and I was trying to make sense of it. I worked him too hard, or maybe it was a combination of the electricity. I know electricity takes electrolytes out of your body. Something happened. It was out of the ordinary and he wouldn't tell me. If I would have known it, I mean, I would have gotten medical help and whatnot, but I don't know what he did and he didn't tell me. I didn't see any burn marks on his body, so that's why I didn't rush him to the hospital. So after the fact, he was deceased.
And then what happened to him?
How did he get deceased? What did you do?
I sent him to bed after I worked him real hard because he wouldn't answer me.
And what do you mean by working him too
I
hard?
just PT'd his ass till he couldn't handle it. Tried cracking him on his butt a couple times to get something out of him to tell me what was he doing.
Right.
What's his motive?
And when you say PT, and what are we talking about?
Squats and push-ups.
Squats, push-ups. And how long were you having him PT?
I'm PT like an hour. Like I said, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Those kids would do insanity with me. We had fun doing it.
And where did he go from? You're doing this where in the house? Where you
This
PTing
was in the
him?
living room, and then I finally got tired of him and sent him to bed.
Okay.
Your ass to bed. You're not telling me the truth. I can't help you. Go to bed, man. You're wasting everybody's time.
And then you find out what?
I come back and find out that he's deceased. And when I find out he's deceased, then the shit hits the fan and all.
How does the shit hit the fan, Tim?
The voices start going off, and then here comes the paranoia. Oh shit! What just happened? What just happened? This ain't gonna go. I can't call. Blah, blah. I got all these voices running through my head now.
And then what happens, Tim? What did you tell us earlier? So Natan was dead, and then what happened?
And I followed suit with the other 4.
And how did you
Said
kill
that
them,
was
Tim?
with my hands
With your hands? Can you describe what you mean by with your hands?
around their neck.
Around their neck? Okay.
Who was next?
I'm just gonna put the order so I don't have to go into too much detail.
Okay. Just tell us the order.
Tan, Mira, Elias, Gabriel. Wait. Tan, Eli, Mira, Gabriel, Elaine.
And when did you say this was, Tim? What date? You told us earlier.
Thursday, I think. They were supposed to go to school Friday and they didn't go because, well, they couldn't go
Yeah. And you said also that this happened where?
at the house.
Can you tell me what that address was?
2155B, South Lake Drive.
What county is that in, Tim?
Lexington, South Carolina.
Lexington, South Carolina? Okay.
Where in the house did you say these happened at? In the house?
The bedroom, or not bedroom, the living room.
Okay. What did you do earlier? You said when you would strangle them. What would you do with the bodies at that point?
At that point, I was just running on fear and I wasn't thinking. Any normal person would have said, let me call the police and just turn myself in.
Okay.
I took the coward route and started following those voices in my head, which led me down such a nice path I'm on today.
And what did you do then
What do you mean?
with the bodies?
I put them in bags and threw them on the hill.
Okay, no. When you're at the house,
Oh, load them. I just load them in the car.
did you put them in the bag at that time?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was just 5 dead bodies.
You put them in the vehicle. What type of vehicle was that?
Cadillac Escalade.
All right. And what do you do from there?
I started driving out of fear.
Tim, tell us, what was your original plan to do with the bodies? Now that we've had a chance to talk about it.
I don't know what my original plan was. I had so many thoughts going through my mind.
What were some of them? Because you wrote some notes and you bought some
I had
supplies.
100 different thoughts about what I could do.
Okay.
I don't want to sit and incriminate myself, but
No, you're fine.
I had a bunch of different things.
We went over this, but part of your plan was to do what? The bodies.
I think originally I intended to go do all that stuff that I wrote down on the paper, but
Which
then I
was
couldn't
what?
bring myself to it.
Right?
What tried to
What was it?
do stuff to just get rid of the corpse.
Do you remember what step one
I was
was?
gonna dissolve them or something like that. And I was gonna cut them up. And
You were gonna-
I was gonna do all kinds of stuff.
Did you write down that you were going to burn the bodies?
I think I was gonna burn them. Yeah.
And you were going to, what was step two?
Boil them, or I forget what it was. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't remember everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you write that you were going to...
I wrote stuff down that it was in the context of that time, but
All right. Was it something that you were going to cut the bodies up?
something I could bring myself to do. Yes.
All right, let's take a look
All
here.
right, Tim, while he's looking that up, I also want to clarify when you last saw Christina, your next door neighbor.
Oh, when I last saw her, the kids were actually still around.
She said she spoke to you on the 2nd.
She talked to me. Yeah.
She talked to you on the 2nd.
When I last seen her.
Mm-hmm. And the children, so she talked to you on the phone then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the children were
And I
deceased then?
lied to her and told the kids, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I want to go through this real quick with you. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but we went over this. What is day 1?
Burn up bodies.
What's day 2?
Saw down bones.
What's day 3?
MB smiley face. Dissolve and discard.
Okay, so your initial plan was to do these things with their bodies.
What was one of them? I told you there's other stuff. That just happened to be the one that's materialized. I had a million thoughts going through my
Okay,
mind.
let's go over this. This is what?
Head to the campground, melt bodies, and send bodies to Duster Small discard by a sanitation plant.
Okay, so these are some of the things that were going through your head?
That's just a small amount of stuff that was going through my head, yes.
Did you write this before or after you killed the children?
After.
After?
I wasn't premeditating this, no.
Okay.
This was not premeditated. This was a, oh shit, what just happened?
So you had the bodies in the vehicle. Did you write this in your house, in the car? Where did you write these notes?
That was on the back of a clipboard
Mm-hmm.
in the house, I think. Yeah, I would think that would have been in the house. I'm not good at writing and driving.
Okay. Did you do this before or after you put the bodies in the car?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry, those details I don't remember.
Now we had also gone through some of what you went and purchased, and specifically at the Walmart. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can find the receipt for that.
𝗙𝗵𝗁 and nicotine.
What did you purchase at the Walmart?
I don't remember. Which Walmart?
This would have been the one in West Columbia.
Close the receipt, I don't remember.
Okay. Did you buy a saw there?
Yeah. Oop.
Okay. Did you buy? Let's go over this receipt here. This receipt is going to be from Augusta Road in West Columbia.
Okay.
All right. And the date here is 9/3. So this is after, because what happened to the children was on Thursday.
What day was that?
Is that correct?
28th.
That's the 28th.
That makes sense.
Now 9/3, this is on Wednesday, so this is after the weekend. And where have them children been the whole time?
With me.
Where?
Driving around in a vehicle, I think.
Where are they though?
They're with me in the car.
Okay, they're all in the back?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, In the middle, not back. So back implies the back where you open it.
And you told me earlier you had them covered up in some sheets or blankets.
Yeah, I do blankets and a shitload of air freshener.
So you have their bodies there. You go and you purchase what? Walk me through what you're purchasing here.
I don't know what that rose.
All right. What's this?
A dusk mask.
This is actually Gatorade, but
Oh.
dusk mask,
Some goggles, and some hand saws.
some jab saw, it says,
And a multi-saw.
multi-saw. What's this here?
Some muriatic acid.
And what's this here?
Like a 5-gallon pail.
All right. Were you purchasing this stuff at that time because you initially thought you might be able to go through with this?
Partially, and then I couldn't bring myself.
You just couldn't do it. Okay. So one of the next receipts we kind of talk about is going to be several days later.
I had these thoughts in my head to try to do this, and then I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Okay. Now we go to the following day. This is going to be the 4th. This is at the Dollar General store, and we're still in Orangeburg, South Carolina. What do you purchase there that we spoke about?
Excuse me.
What's this here?
Some trash bags.
Trash bags. Why'd you buy those trash bags? To do what now?
Put the bodies.
To put the bodies in.
Okay, but then to throw some of my own trash out too.
Okay.
I had a lot of stuff in the vehicle I was trying to throw out.
Now, you said you're just driving around. You have the bodies in the car, and where are you going at that time?
Nowhere, I guess, because in my mind I'm just running. I have nowhere to go.
Because you didn't plan this.
I didn't plan this. No, it's just like
Spontaneous.
This is spontaneous, and I just fucked up my whole life.
Okay.
One bad incident, and I'm not following through with what I should have, and I.
Now we spent some time really trying to figure out where your children are at.
Yeah.
What did we kind of come up with?
Looking somewhere on Route 10 between, I think, Greenville and Camden.
Well, let's go back to
Okay.
September 5th,
Yeah.
Friday night. What did you tell us happened Friday night?
September 5th.
That was when you said your vehicle got stuck?
Yeah, so
Tell us about that.
I pulled off to the side at somebody's house to try to collect myself to see where I was at.
Yeah.
And in the process of pulling back onto the road, I got stuck in a
You
ditch.
got stuck, and what happened?
The tow truck had to come out. He called a wrecker.
All right. Did you have any law enforcement contact that night?
A law enforcement just showed up on his own. He was patrolling, and
Okay. Can you describe what he looked like?
probably about maybe 5'10", shaved hair, Caucasian male.
Okay.
When you have contact with this officer, where are your children?
In the car.
Okay, they're dead in the car.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they're still where you set them.
Yes, sir.
What's going on in that car since they've been sitting for so long? I mean, you kill them on Thursday.
No, they weren't sitting there. Some of the time I took a couple days and just stayed home.
Okay. Did you leave them in the vehicle?
Or were they in the house at that time?
I think they were in the vehicle and I was just sitting there.
Not what you think. We want to know
No, I
what
mean
the
I
truth
believe
is.
I believe that they were in the vehicle.
But you're
and I
talking
was-
about the weekend it happened.
Yes, and I was just sitting there thinking, oh, what am I gonna do?
Okay. Well,
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Does this tie this together? Because that's what I'm trying to tell you what I know.
sure.
Yeah,
So
Tim.
all I'm saying from that Thursday, though, the 28th, and you say after all this happens, you place their bodies in the vehicle.
Yes.
Between then and the time you come in contact with the officer, and that would be Friday on September 5th. So we have over a week's time that has passed by. Your children are still in the vehicle. Is that correct?
What date?
Friday, when you have contact
Yeah,
with
so
the
the
law.
next Saturday was, yeah.
Okay, so they're in the vehicle the whole time. What's kind of happening in the vehicle? As far as how does it smell in there?
Stinks like shit.
What's happening with the children? You were telling me before.
But the blood was probably just coming out of their bodies because I just left them in there. And I believe that Well, as far as I know, I think when your body dies, blood and water separate. I think that's...
Now, we had asked, because you purchased the saws and everything, had you used any of the saws on your children?
I think I tried to start on that time and I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Okay. And we'll get to where that happens. Had you tried with any of the other children? No?
He was kind of the whole center of this thing.
He's what kind of started this all.
He triggered this all.
If he would have told you what happened to the outlets that night,
I would have went and acted appropriately to try to help him.
none of this would have happened.
I think he didn't tell me because I think it was intended for me. I think that's why it would make sense for him not to tell me.
So let me ask you, so you have contact with the law enforcement officer Friday night. The children are still in the vehicle. That would have been on the 5th.
The 5th, yes.
Saturday is when you get picked up here.
The 6th?
That's going to be the 6th. That's Saturday. But that Saturday morning, we look at this receipt. And this is where?
The Greenville, Alabama.
Greenville, Alabama. And what, do you remember what you buy there?
10 packs of cigarettes and some Zuzus and Wham Whams.
Okay. And I just see grocery, so I don't know what you purchased there.
Yeah, candy bars.
And if the time on the receipt is correct, it's telling us 8:18 in the morning.
Yep.
Your children, they're still in the vehicle with you. You're positive about that on Saturday?
Not the whole day, yeah.
Okay, at that time though?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go from Greenville, Alabama, and then the next receipt we have is Camden, Alabama. And what do you do in Camden?
I pulled some money out. I was intending to go to Vegas.
Okay. And you take out $500?
$500.
All right. Now, that time is at 1:06 p.m. At that point, were the children in your vehicle?
I don't believe they were. I think that they were gone.
You already disposed of them?
Pretty sure.
Okay,
All right.
so...
With that in mind, can you describe to me what you were telling me earlier about where you disposed of your children at?
They're in some wooded road, log truck looking thing off on the side in bags.
Was it a 2-lane road that this was off of?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. You said it was a heavily wooded area?
It was heavily wooded. It looked like if you went up in the area where I did, it was either like some of the trees got knocked out of the way, like people potentially either starting to clear it, or maybe somebody came through there and was bulldozing up ATV path or something. I don't know. It wasn't something that was incorporated. That's kind of what I would say. It was unincorporated.
Unincorporated.
Your children, you do what once you get to this location?
Put them in bags and put them off to the side.
Okay. Tell us about Natan. Does this happen there? Or did this happen in a separate place where
you said you started to cut them?
You started.
This happened there.
Where did it happen? In the vehicle? Outside of the vehicle?
Outside the vehicle.
And what do you do?
I began to try to saw a leg and I couldn't bring myself to finish it. I can't do that.
How far did you get?
Maybe about that far in. I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that to him.
Okay. So you did not cut his leg off?
No.
What did you do with his body?
I just put him in a bag and said, I gotta sit you guys over there. I said a prayer for him and walked away.
Okay. Did you place each child in a separate bag? And then did you walk them a couple at a time or one at a time? Which is it?
A couple at a time.
Couple at a time?
Just however many trips it took to get 5 of them over there.
Now we asked if they're going to be essentially all together, if they put them in different places.
No, I put them in the same place. If somebody didn't check the bags and they started looking in there, moving around, I don't know what. For all I know, they may not be there.
Okay.
I'm not lying to you that much. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what happened, obviously, between where I put them and the time I'm here now. I don't know if somebody went back and...
You said they just look like they're a pile of...
5 garbage bags.
5 garbage, so it looks like they're just garbage in there. Okay. So what do you do then? Do you try to hide the bags at all?
I just put them off to the side. I knew there was no hiding bags. There ain't no hiding this. I'm going to get caught. This is just a matter of time. I'm buying myself time. I'm going to get caught.
So you don't try to hide the, in other words, you don't cover the bags up, but you go back to your vehicle, and from your vehicle...
I just drove. Aimlessly.
And then
I say aimlessly, I was in an aimless path toward Las Vegas. That's why I was doing this. And that explained me going around the major cities.
All right.
And it explains my line of travel, maybe.
Until you get here in Smith County.
And then I didn't intend to get, and then that's when everything blows up in my face.
Now you were telling us that was actually in the car, was not spice, but they are called...
This is Scooby Snacks.
Okay.
You said locally in Lexington County you bought those from where?
Time Warp.
Time Warp.
And what do they kind of do for you?
They calm the voices down inside my head to let me be at peace and not act on them.
They kind of give you the same high as what drug? I think you're talking about
It's like marijuana in the sense that it gives you a high, but it's not the high that I'm looking for. It's the effect of quieting this. It's medication. I know that sounds stupid as heck, but
not at all.
That's why I need to see a doctor.
Okay.
We'll go through these.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, this will answer a lot of that.
Sure,
Unless
sure.
You have any other questions?
Well, what I want to do, we'll go through this, but as we've done this today, nobody has threatened you today, and we'll go over this in this forum. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you think we treated you fair today?
Yes.
All right, you've done the same for us. Have you been completely honest with us?
Yes.
Now, one thing though, you didn't tell us about taking that saw to Natan, not until we started this tape. You had not mentioned that. But I told you we're gonna perform autopsies on your children. We're gonna find them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me the 4 children, 4 of them, we're gonna find out that they were suffocated. Now you're grabbing your hands, you're putting them around your throat. That's what you did?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you suffocated them? Did you put a pillow over that?
No.
No. All right. If you could just say out loud what you're doing.
I use my hands to suffocate my kids.
Is there anything else we need to know, Tim, about what happened to him? Anything you may have attempted to do to him afterward?
I used a belt too.
Used a belt too? How'd you use a belt? Around their necks? Did you do that with all 5 children? No.
With who?
Who did you use the belt on?
I forget which ones.
Okay.
I used it as...
What is the autopsy going to show with Natan?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Did you use the belt on him?
It's gonna. I don't know. I didn't use the belt on him. No, I came in and he was gone, and that's when I went into panic mode, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not sure what the autopsy will show for Natan?
I don't know what it's gonna show. I don't know what actually was. I don't know what his actual cause of death was. That's just the point. And I didn't want to go. I was afraid I was going to just get myself locked up.
Yeah.
Did you use the belt on Eli?
I don't think I did. I think it was just bare hands. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to lie to you. Those memories are clouded.
Well, what about who do you remember using the belt on?
Babies.
On the babies?
Who were the babies, Tim?
Pardon?
Gabriel and Elaine, is that correct? Elaine is also known as Abigail, right? Okay.
And when you say the belt, you put the belt around their...
I used to strangle them.
You used to strangle. Why didn't you use your hands with them?
I don't know. At that point, I wasn't thinking. At that point, I was just thinking, run, get rid of the bodies, and you're fucked, Tim.
Were the older children, did they put up a fight?
I mean, what person's not?
Right.
You told us earlier that Eli said something to you before you killed him. What did he say to you?
Take me with, Dad.
What do you think Eli meant when he said that?
I think he just wanted to go where I was. He knew Natan was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I
don't know exactly what he meant by that. I mean, I don't know where he thought I was going. I didn't even know where I was going at that time. This is just happening. It's like my mind, I don't know what to do now.
Did any of the other children say anything before you killed him?
Gabriel said, I love you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a question I was gonna, we're gonna ask you here. Because we've gone over all this, and you've been honest with us. Are we gonna find any of the other children cut up at all? No. You didn't try to burn them at all?
I can't replace them.
Tim, what about the bleach in the vehicle when you got
to
stopped?
cover up the blood.
To cover up the blood?
I also know, in honest truth, I do like bleach because it makes stuff smell clean.
So you're probably trying to get rid of some of that odor.
Not just that. I mean, no. So I mean, I would carry it around in the car even if before because I liked bleach and it made stuff clean. Like, you want to go? That was just me.
You're also willing to go with us to try to locate the bodies?
I am, but like I said, I don't know how productive that's going to be. I don't want you guys to get out there. Oh, you're pissing around, wasting our time. No, I'm not. I mean, I drive, but forgive me, part of that's a blank.
The arrest and aftermath. After dumping the bodies, Tim was stopped at a traffic checkpoint and questioned. He was suspected of being intoxicated, and the car smelled noticeably of decomposition and chemicals. The deputy reported that Tim's Cadillac Escalade was soaked in blood, but that all of it had dried by that point. He was taken into custody immediately and gave the location of the children's remains without resisting. During trial, Amber asked for mercy to be shown to Tim. She said, "He did not show my children any mercy by any means, but my children loved him. If I am speaking on behalf of my kids and not myself, that's what I have to say." Timothy Jones Jr. was found guilty of killing his 5 kids in Lexington County, South Carolina, and was sentenced to death on June 13, 2019.
What other Reddit stories would you like us to read? Comment your suggestions down below.
If you want to hear more Reddit stories, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.